Hey everybody, welcome to the Logan Power Show. It's me, your host, Calvin Logan, live here at New Hope AME Church here in St. George, South Carolina. Well, we're bringing back to the Logan Power Show. She's a returning guest. She's a pastor. She's an entrepreneur, a woman of all trades. She's a virtuous woman of God, the one and only Dr. Pastor Cassandra Davis. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, the main purpose here at the Logan Power Show, we want to change things up. We want to talk about what do you do first when you, number one, maybe starting a new ministry, also how you're going to balance ministry life plus being an entrepreneur. So we got the perfect guest to answer all those questions here today. So, Pastor Davis, let's talk about your ministry that you started. It's something that you have a passion for, God's purpose, and how are you doing it now in this season of your life?
In this season, the Lord called me, I kind of say about at the halfway mark in my life. When I was 50, I was called into the ministry. And I'm saying, okay, God, now, it's a little later in life. But nevertheless, it's a perfect time because you have put away a lot of things. And you've been able to really focus on the fact that this is God's purpose. So at this season, as I age gracefully, at this season, I want to do all that I can. Life is full of ups and downs, so why not do this now? And the Lord has called me to do it now. So I want to put everything I have in it because He chose me to carry forth, and I don't want to be slack on that.
Absolutely. You don't want to be slack. You don't want to, for instance, not give your all to what the Lord has called you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your church is a little bit different dynamic. It's what we talk about, a church that started in your own home and how you branch off. Can you tell people the days you have service and what should people expect when coming to your ministry?
Right now, we've tried, as he said, we've tried a lot of untraditional ways, and we've tried some traditional ways. Previously, we had service every Sunday in Harleyville, and we just decided, well, after my husband became ill, I said, well, we got to do this a little bit different. So now we're back to having services, but not every Sunday. I do a lot of outreach on social media so that everything keeps going. But you can find our services there, and you can also find me anywhere there is a service. But so far as what we do out of my home, it's prayer on Wednesdays at noon. We actually do Bible study at 11 on Wednesdays. And I do the live prayer. And during the Holy Week, the Lord instructed me to come on every morning to do each day leading up to the crucifixion. So just, different things like that.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever followed what Pastor Davis is doing? It's a lot of different. Most of it is more of an outreach. You always hear her that she's going to this church, fellowshipping. It's not like, kind of my building. It's more of I'm doing more of what the Apostle Paul in doing. I'm venturing out, doing more of that type of work. I'm going into those places, those desolate places that people need to connect with. Now, for you, when people are watching you, it's always a humbling spirit, on fire for the Lord. And sometimes when people are like, man, why are you doing this? Because you don't have the big edifices. And a lot of times what we do is we say, well, until I get the building, I'm not going to do God's ministry. A lot of people are saying that the last thing I want to do is bring someone into my home, or if I say I'm called, I got to go to this place, go to that place, because of me. What led you to be so humble in doing it? Because some people don't do that all the time.
Right. It was, and sometimes it still is. I'm kind of perplexed at times, but then when I realize every ministry is different, every call is different. So I really prefer to have a building, but, I keep hearing the Lord say, just do this. I may get a building, I may not, but now we have services in a building. It's not a church with a steeple or the traditional church, but we're in a building along with God's Glory Outreach Ministries, and we have services there. So I'm always in a building, but you won't find me there like every Sunday, every Wednesday. It's not like that. It's like, okay, use what you got. Because back in the day, many prayer bands were started in the home. So if they could do it and reach people and people were saved, set free, and delivered, I just feel like, okay, I'll do this wherever God leads me to do it.
Absolutely. Now, when you're doing a ministry, people think like, tithe and offering is going to cut it. And that's going to be the biggest thing. But we always know that's going to be a lie. So we know there's other things you have to bring in for those finances to trickle in. Now, another thing that's very unique about yourself, you're an entrepreneur. And you talk about, you do your ministry and you do your entrepreneur at the same exact time. Tell me more about what you got on the entrepreneur side for this.
Since 1997, we have had a business called Valentine Enterprises, and that Valentine comes from my maiden name, so I just want to get that out there that I'm a Valentine. My father was from Richmond, Virginia, and I still have family there. And I couldn't think of any other name more fitting because they pushed me to do so many things in life. So we do printing. We first started off with buttons and keychains, and then it expanded to almost anything you can name. So right now we have tailored down some things, we have tapered down some things that we don't do, but now we have the ability to do a little bit different equipment, not maybe the biggest, equipment there is, but we're working on it, and as I go towards retirement, we may not be doing as much, but we are still working and, hoping that our loyal customers will remain.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, we want to also just to highlight how people get caught up in the age, and they say, well, Lord, I don't know if anybody's like, well, hey, I got to be doing ministry at this specific age. If I haven't done it, then let it pass me by. But you don't allow an age to define when God has called you. And so the reason I'm asking this question is that a lot of times when it comes to saints, I stop saying saints, let's say believers. That's what the Bible talks about, being a believer. A lot of times believers get caught up in, hey, I'm a certain age, God can't use me. And it's impossible to be used at this part of time in my life. So how can we speak to those that are saying, hey, I'm too old, or hey, I'm too young to actually do the Lord's work? How can we reach those?
Well, when we look at how the Lord moved Abraham, how he called him to do something different later in his life, that should be a motivation right there, that you're never too old, never too young. Whenever it's your season, that's your season. When you call by God, you just go forth and you do it. And people might look at you and they may not want to follow your ministry because maybe you're a little bit more seasoned than someone else. But then on the other hand, it's like, but you remember who God called. Remember, God called you, not the people. So as long as you have the strength and the energy and the fire for God, you just do it at whatever age. And yes, I could start slowing down, but I don't feel that slowing down in me. So I say to anyone who's saying, well, why now? Why not now? Yeah.
Amen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to take a mental note in your head. One thing, if God has a purpose for your life, understand this. No, the provision is not going to be there on day one. It's impossible. Never think if God has a dream that He's put into your spirit, and you're thinking about it, the first thing, finances are never going to be there first. Don't ever think that's going to happen. Because if finances is there, then what's the point of having it? Another thing, if you have a dream that God has given to you, you're not going to have all your pieces on day one. So God's going to take you through a journey. It's like a puzzle. The puzzle is different pieces. But each piece, as you lay that down, it will come together and it'll create a masterpiece. So I want you now to take a mental note. Find out what your masterpiece is. Find out what God has called you. And the purpose is yours. That's all the time I got. My name is Calvin of the Logan Power Show, nationwide, worldwide. We love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.